Welcome to YOLK Rehashed Generation Next with Larry Tazuma and Sommer Nguyen. YOLK is back.
Hello and welcome to the OG YOLK Generasian Next podcast. My name is Larry Tazuma. I'm coming to you from the Yeouido area of Seoul, Korea. This is probably my third time being here in Seoul, Korea. This is a beautiful area of Seoul, Korea. I'm here with JEROME YOO. Hi, JEROME.
Hi, thanks for having me.
JEROME, interesting name for a Korean.
Yeah, my mom, French influence. My mom went to college years, spent it in France, so I think she took that on when she got married and had kids, and named me Jerome. I've always wondered, because everyone that I grew up, everyone else that had the name Jerome, they didn't look like me, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said French influence. What do you mean by that?
Or like my mom, she spent her college years in France, so then I think that's where the name sort of came from. I've asked her, where did it come from? And she said, I really like the name Jerome. When during the years she spent there. So then I think she got the name during her time in France.
Okay. So you are Korean Canadian.
Yes, I'm Korean Canadian.
Does that mean you speak a little French?
Do I speak French? Elementary school, middle school.
Okay.
It's mandatory classes. You get a little bit of that French language. You get taught, right? Just like you learn Spanish in America. So
right.
A little bit. I haven't kept too much, but
yeah. What part of Canada? I'm sorry. What part of Canada?
Vancouver, British Columbia. Pretty much all my life. I was went over when I was 1, and then pretty much raised there entirely since.
Okay. I was just in an area yesterday called Seongsu?
Yeah, maybe Seongsu.
Seongsu. Yeah, it reminded me of Robson Street a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of shopping there. It's become quite urbanized. It used to be like a steel manufacturing area, but now it's a very hip, very trendy. Yeah,
it was great. Yeah, are you familiar with 1 Million, the dance studio?
I've heard of it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was really excited to see 1 Million dance studio. We went into the lobby and just checked it out. And saw
okay.
A class.
Is it kind of like an open area that people can come in and out? They must have a lot of fans. Right?
Yeah, they have a lot of fans. I don't know if you could just go in and hop into a class, because there was a class taking place, and not just Korean people, but there was some non-Korean people in there. It was cool. I took some pictures there. And
right,
it was
amazing.
Fun. So we're here to talk about Mongrels. Mongrels is your first feature, full-length feature.
Yes.
We're not here to talk about Tokyo Lovers, even though Sommer is our producer. Sommer Nguyen is our producer, and she interviewed the director of that movie,
Mayumi Yoshida.
She was very enthusiastic. She said, "You gotta ask him about Tokyo Lovers." I'm like, "Well, why?" And then she says, "You gotta watch that movie." So I watched it, and I'm like, "Why do I gotta ask him about this short film?" And so anyway, I was in Tokyo at the time, or I was in Osaka actually at the time. She was insisting I watch that short film, and I'm like, it has nothing to do with Mongrels. So I'll only ask it if you bring it up later on. But
I find that it was part of this sort of a creative path up into Mongrels, just because Natch, Destimata, my producer, was also partners with Mayumi.
Okay.
It was kind of like the start of Mayumi started out as an actor. I did as well. Mayumi's still acting, where my acting chops have fallen off a cliff since. Okay. So then I
Your
like
choice?
to. Sorry.
Your choice?
It's just I feel shy, in front of the camera. I don't know what inspired me when I was younger to be in front of camera, but. I've had a little bit of a career initially, but since then it's kind of I feel like that chapter is closed, and I've fully transitioned where Mayumi, she does everything. Wow. So I
good for her. It's not an easy
it's
not an easy thing. Because I've certainly done my share, and sometimes it just falls off a cliff.
I don't know. It's just there's just that spark where at a certain point, I got comfortable, but then I would direct one short film, or my first short film, and I felt this is where I feel really comfortable, and I've kind of run with it since, and it's been like the same mentality. Like when I first started acting, I felt like I was starting late, and if I was to be serious about it, like I've got to put everything into it, you know, like kind of throw out my personal life and everything, and just be really militaristic and disciplined about diving into it. And I think it was the same with directing. Once I realized, oh, like this is what I think I really love to do. I love how creatively fulfilling it is compared to what I thought acting was fulfilling me. So then, same thing. I just like was like, oh, like I feel like I'm starting late. I'm gonna kind of deep dive into it.
Wow, I love that that real strong work ethic that you have toward this.
Maybe it's the Asian work ethic.
It could be. I interviewed someone in Singapore who had a similar sort of work ethic. I mean, he had it since high school, and he was already producing major photography work by the time you know he was in college. He was already working professionally. Going on to Mongrels, I just, want to congratulate you. You've been nominated for quite a few awards, won quite a few awards. My current hometown, Los Angeles, you won the BC Film Fest, two others, the Visual Communications Film Festival Grand Jury Prize for Best Narrative Feature. Also won some other awards. You had your international premiere at the Talon Black Nights Film Festival 2024, where it won the International Film Critics Prize, special jury mention for its cast in the first feature competition. Also took home the Directors Guild of Canada's Horizon Award for Emerging Canadian Director. That was at the 2024 Vancouver International Film Festival. Other awards, because this might be outdated.
No, that's spot on. Like it's been a bit of a shock to me. It's just the film's done incredibly well, which I'm so grateful for. But
awesome.
Yeah, just as you said, all of those, I'm very fortunate to be nominated for 2 Canadian Academy Screen Awards, and for original screenplay, best first feature film, and all a bit like surreal still. Every time like it's picks something up, I'm often wondering, oh, like I feel like there's so many other great films at this festival or in my categories. So yeah, just feeling fortunate and grateful that the film's being appreciated.
Would you mind just give me the Netflix streaming version of the synopsis?
The synopsis, set in the early 90s, 1991. It's about a Korean family that comes over from Korea to the Canadian prairies. And this Canadian prairies, it's infested by these wild dogs that are destroying farmers' livelihoods, destroying crops, livestock. Yeah, it's a bit of a portrait of, it's a 3 triptych portrait of a family through the eyes of the father, the teenage son, and the daughter, who all live through different trials and tribulations. They have a different perspective of like how they're adapting and living their life. So we explore that.
I've seen some of the podcasts that are available online and about the casting that you went through.
Yes.
Right. Some of them took place locally. Some of them took place in Korea. This is mostly a Korean language film.
It's mostly Korean language. I'd say it's about 70% Korean language, 30% English. Yeah, casting was quite a roller coaster, just because we didn't have enough budget to work with union actors. So then I think we had to expand our search, and there was a bit of like this like feeling in me of you know, a bit of fear in me of just, I've seen often in Western like films that depicts like a Korean family, a recently immigrant family, where their Korean wouldn't be fluent, so then it would just kind of like be, it didn't feel authentic to me. Oftentimes, you know, when I first watched Minari, for instance, you know, I celebrated it, you know, just seeing a film that represented me on screen, you know, in Hollywood. But also at the same time, as I was watching, I would realize, oh, it's a family that just settled, but also the father has this accent, you know?
Yeah.
And very subtle. very subtle. I don't know if many people will pick up on it, but you know, if I talk to the Korean audience, they'll all mention this as well. So then I would realize, oh, it wasn't just me that felt like there was this subtle, you know, awkward, just that layer of nuance that existed. And I think I just really wanted to make sure that it felt authentic, especially when if I had the opportunity to bring it to Korea and share with the Korean audience. I knew that there would already be this layer of maybe a foreign opinion and perspective of me just having been raised entirely outside of Korea. I've made some short films that is related to my, you know, just like my Korean background. And when I have screened in Korea or to the Korean audiences, they were mentioning how difficult it is for them to relate, whether it's my lack of fluency as a screenwriter, where I'm writing Korean dialogue and it doesn't come across natural to them, as well as perhaps some of my actors, you know. There were some things in between that just like made it more difficult for them to absorb the film than say the rest of the world, because they understand the Korean language and they're not consuming the film from subtitles, right?
Right.
So then I wanted to make it palatable and acceptable, hopefully, for the Korean audience. So then I think I put a lot of time into trying to make sure that casting for the father and the son, where it was possible, I wanted to cast Korean, and I did a Canada-wide search. Came up empty. So then we took the search to Korea and found two of our leading actors here. And then even from the screenplay, like I wrote the original screenplay in English, and then I had it kind of like reviewed multiple times by Korean screenwriters and their friends to make sure that the dialogue, even with the actors, I made sure the dialogue, the Korean actors, I would workshop it with them to make sure that it feels right to them and it all makes sense, because they would know far better than I do, having you know, lived and grown up in Korea.
Right.
Yeah.
So you didn't attempt to write it in Korean and then have it. Yeah.
Not at all.
That would be suicide.
I will say, like my Korean has improved a lot.
Yeah.
Since
2020.
I was born here.
Yeah.
I left when I was 1.
Yeah.
I really only spoke the most like basic Korean phrases with my parents growing up,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm hungry, you know, I'm going to school.
Exactly.
But I realized when I started making friends with the Korean international students in Vancouver, I felt a huge separation and gap, not just identity and just like culture, things like this, because I felt very Canadian. Canada being a very diverse country, right? People with from all different backgrounds, versus Korea, it's homogenous, and you know, I find that it doesn't like open up. How should I say? Like, you're not able to connect with like you know, people from different countries as easily if you grew up in Canada.
Yeah.
Sorry, Korea. Oh, right, Korea. So then I found that meeting and befriending like Korean students not only like made me realize how terrible my Korean was, but also how familiar they are with just Korean society rather than something a bit more open, you know. And I thought like sharing those like ideas and stories with one another during my middle school years, during my high school years, I thought it made for some interesting conversations and yeah, made me want to dive into my own heritage and like roots deeper as well.
So getting into the story a little bit, it seems at first I was thinking that this white Canadian family felt like they were missionaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that
No, they're not
intentional?
I never found that, like, I never intended for them to be missionaries.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Yeah. It just seems like they're adopting them and trying to influence them with
Yes.
religion and everything.
I think it's very much like you know, so often, and it's a very real part of the immigrant experience, is, you know, sort of the racism, the segregation, the hate, right? We've seen it so often, and, you know, opposite to that, sometimes when I was growing up, I perceived my own father to be distrusting of like his own neighbors in Canada, rather than when, from my perception, and again, like this sort of it might be naive of me actually because I was very young when I saw all this, but my neighbors were always so kind to me. You know, fed me. I was friends with their kids. You know, just as in the film, it's depicted that the Larsons and the Lees, like the kids are friendly to one another. Things like this, but then my father would really be distrustful, and really would not want to reject their generosity, just thinking that there were like these underlying, insidious intentions behind it, a second agenda, and it was interesting to me because he would be the one that was like, making sort of like inappropriate remarks or just like really kind of hateful of just wanting to draw this line of like they're not going to take me,
He's distrustful. He doesn't want anyone to get close to them. He doesn't want his kids to get close to them. He's distrustful of their religion, culture, everything. And he himself is just somebody who's he's even though he's sort of the hero of the thing. I mean, he's obviously the guy you want on your team. He's the guy who can kill these animals. He's not somebody who's friendly, and he's actually someone you don't really like.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And as an actor, it's a hard role to take, right? I mean, and apparently you found the right kind of person to play that role.
I think so. Yes, I think Jae-hyun Kim, who plays the role of Sunny, I thought he was amazing. He was 1 out of 100. Yeah, truly.
I was taken aback by his his performance because I was like, wow, this guy is into the role. I mean, he's in it. I was just won over by him. He, the suspension of disbelief was just right away. He was just like, man, this guy is. He's him. He's the character.
I think he went a bit method with the preparation because I remember when he landed in Vancouver. First of all, he was so just taken aback by the beauty of Vancouver, the lush forests and things like this. But leading up to the shoot, he would tell me, "Oh, like I went on a walk. I went hiking, and then something just compelled me to act like a dog and crawl on in the forest. Like kind of like live and breathe like this character and like step into his shoes. And I think he's one of the most like diligent actors, like in his preparation and his professionalism and everything. I really still to this day feel like I would be honored to work with him again. And back then I truly felt like I was not prepared to work with such a immense actor, that would prepare like this. Like I've just never worked with an actor so intense, so kind and gentle as a person, but then when he's diving into the character, he's like so incredibly intense that you feel this aura, just like you don't know whether you could step forward and just talk to him about it because you'll see him just prepping on set. And
I have a personal quote that I wrote, and I don't know if it relates to this movie or not, but it just popped up on my screen here, and I'm just gonna say it. When a dog has too much freedom, it becomes a beast. When a man has too much freedom, he becomes a dog.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
did you just write that?
No, I wrote it a long time ago and never had a use for it. I'm a writer. I'm also an editor. So
that's beautiful.
Thank you. So let's talk about the individual characters. We just talked about the dad. I want to talk about Hajun. Hajun, do you relate to Hajun at all?
Parts of me. I feel like I pulled a lot of like my younger brother into Hajun. It's a bit of a melting pot of like many different things.
I gotta admit, I was triggered by the whole hitting scene. My dad went to town on my face, one time. I deserved it.
You can admit that.
I can admit it, but Hajun strikes back, which I didn't do.
Yeah.
When I was young.
Yeah.
So, tell me about that scene in particular.
You get pushed and pushed and pushed. I think immigrant parents, they want to raise you to be a strong person, an independent person. I think part of it is like in some very toxic way, like love, you know, like you got to raise them tough, right? Because you love them. There is like a deep-seated love. The way it just manifests itself, it could be more harm than good. I find that oftentimes growing up, people would question like my manhood, you know, or just oh, like if you want to be a man,
Yes.
you have to be this way, you know, that way. Especially, it would often come like these comments would come from Korean men, grew up in Korea. You know, one of the big sort of what should I say? Like controversial things sometimes is there's a lot of like immigrants that leave, or like last minute immigrants, shall I say, that leave Korea to change their citizenship so that men don't have to, guys wouldn't have to take, go to the military, conscription, right? And conscription is a rite of passage in Korea. To be a man, you must go to the military, you must serve your time. And once you're done, then you are a true man, you know, in society. And when people escape, you know, for me, is like my family left when I was 1. You know, I don't think it was really that was the intention. But some people that leave really late with the intention of wanting to change the citizenship, it's very much because I don't want to spend and waste about 2 years, you know, in the military, and that's what would, you know, define like manhood. And you know, like a lot of Korean uncles while I was growing up in Canada, they would sort of define what, you know, in their experience, what a man would be.
Yeah.
You know, someone that's not able to be vulnerable or open up about their emotions. You know, you're supposed to be cold and really just endure. You know, endure. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Swallow that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So then this is the point. The point when, you know, they get into this confrontation where I think he's been pushed to the brink, where he decides like he's not going to be bullied anymore by, you know, it's 2 different worlds, right?
Yeah.
You see Hajun, it's opposite of the father. It's everyone around them, like the community around them is actually pretty generous and kind. Like the Larson family,
I was surprised.
You know,
Yeah.
the Larson family, like of course there's some sort of like a business agenda underneath it of like why it is kind, but you know, at first it's like you know, they're not antagonistic or anything, right? It's more so, again, just going back to father really quickly, it's...
Hang on a second. Looks like my recording's... Okay.
Oh, no worries.
Let's just take it back to... let's talk about were you just talking about the father?
Oh, yeah. I was just saying, the community around them aren't antagonistic to them. I think the community is very aware of the fact that, these people are here to help us, you know. We will welcome them. Although they're strangers, we'll welcome them, you know. And the father, it's more so his bias and like his like thoughts that scare him. Like it's the power dynamic where if you cannot communicate, then the status changes. Where in Korea, he's able to keep the status because he's able to navigate that world with ease, and you know, that's just like the world he's familiar with, right? He's able to communicate, he's able to handle business, but all of a sudden when he moves to Canada, it's just because he cannot express himself and understand these people through communication that he feels this fear that they're out to get him. You know, everything's a trap, right?
Yeah.
So then we see the opposite in Hajun, where he's able to speak some English, and the teenage kids around him, they welcome him. You know, they want to be friends with him.
You said you found him in Korea, and he speaks really good English.
Yeah, that's right. It was one of the requirements in my audition that they had to speak good English, and there were a lot of Korean actors that lied and would still show up anyways.
He spoke really good English. So.
He spoke good English. I believe he has. He spent a couple of years in his childhood in Portugal, if I'm correct. His family was in Portugal for a bit, where he was exposed to the English language, and it was spoke good English, and really, really great actor. Danu, Nam Danu, and this scene again, the confrontation. It hits that boiling point where once again, like his manhood is like put up to contention, and the father, he feels like he needs to control, right?
Sure.
He feels like he's losing control of everything. The father, you know, like his own status, you know, his children who keeps being taken away into enemy territory,
Sure.
you know, as he might imagine.
But you know, Korean fathers, Korean American Korean fathers, Korean Canadian fathers, they're just not very good fathers without a mother. I've noticed that. I've always observed that. They need a mother.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
To take care of the children.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, yeah, like I realize now at an older age, a lot of like what my father struggled with when he first came over was the fact that he didn't feel like a man all of a sudden because he was not able to express himself and communicate. And you know what's so interesting is now that I'm trying to find my way in Korea, and I've been living here for a bit, my lack of Korean communication makes me feel, you know, insecure. It doesn't make me feel like myself. I feel like far more grounded when I'm, you know, back home. I'm able to socially navigate and just be myself. Where, in a weird way, like when I speak Korean, like I immediately lower my status in just trying to not be rude, you know, potentially, because I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
I don't want to suggest anything to them or appear as if I might be rude at all, because that's not my intention. But it's like in some ways, like I'm afraid to be confident here, you know,
Yeah.
because I have to feel small. So then, like they feel like I'm, you know, non-threatening.
So as
Something
long
like
as
this.
you have a go-between who's getting you the work, and that you can be the main guy calling the shots,
Yeah.
you'll be okay. But if you're the guy trying to get the work, it might be a little rough, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting, and even in these ways, I've been feeling like I relate to Sunny again from a perspective I didn't really think about when I was writing this script way back 5 years already. But yeah, I think it just like lights a fuse in that moment that like kind of leads to this like explosion, and it's an interesting scene because it gets talked about a lot, just how intense it is. I remember during test screening, it was really interesting because I've had a white audience, you know, my mentors, and you know, like of course, really great friends, and then I had an Asian audience where some of them weren't even, you know, filmmakers or like in the film community. They were just students, and the opinion was so divided. You know, just Asians and you know, like my the white community, like the audience. The white audience was like, "Why is he so terrible and rude to his kids? Like he's abusive. He's a piece of shit." You know?
Yeah.
What's the motivation? I'm not seeing the motivation. And the Asian audience would be, I've never felt such a accurate portrayal of my father. You know?
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
It's like 50 years of that stuff built up into this one moment, you know? And
Yeah.
that's every moment for that father.
It is.
Right?
I saw this scene in my head like so clearly.
Yeah.
You know, the silhouette and all of this. Like I remember like I was on a running machine, imagining this scene. And there were like tears would swell up in my eyes just thinking about the emotionality. Also because they're both grieving, right? Inside, they're swallowing up all the pain of in their act of being men, right?
Yeah.
On the surface, they swallow up tears and like their grievances for the mother. And
I grew up a sensitive child. My daughter's a sensitive child, so she cries very easily. I also cry very easily, as you noticed. And so my wife, she says, "Why is she crying?" I said, "Sorry, it's me. It's my blood. You know, it's my genetics. We get affected by things deeply.
That's
even
beautiful.
Small things, you know, and things that happen for me, things that happened 30 years ago, I can just be triggered just like that. And I used to think of it as a weakness, but now I think of it more as a superpower.
yeah,
You know,
no, absolutely.
it's
empathy.
it's
You know?
empathy.
It's empathy. I think everyone needs more of it, and it's really beautiful to see. Yeah, but like it's this. I wanted these two men to, men as in I do see Hajun as a man, fighting his own battles. And in this moment, they communicate in the only way that the father would understand is through fists, through flesh, And so in the way that they come together in the end, they realize through each other's pain, and in the way without verbalizing it, they're able to communicate the pain of losing the mother. They're finally opening up about it through fists, And so that's the way that I've seen it, and I would be running on the treadmill as I was prepping for going into production.
Sure.
But I would just see this scene so clearly out of many other scenes, right?
Yeah.
I would just see it so clearly.
Yeah.
And
it has to happen.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, I don't know what it is. It was a very important scene for me to portray, many people advise against it, and that, is it deserved? Is it earned? Is it maybe too violent? But it's just reality, It's just reality. It's like a lot of, unfortunate as it is, a lot of parents, immigrant parents, there's no rationality behind it. It's just outbursts, It's things that are pent up that they just have to put out on their children because, again, it's like when the entire world is foreign to them, they want to let things out on the things that are familiar,
Right. I'm sorry to move forward now. I want to talk about Hannah a little bit. Hannah, I heard you found her locally in Vancouver. Is that correct? She reminds me of my niece a lot. She looks a lot like my niece, and she speaks fluent Korean also.
I think for Saint-Jin, she speaks like it's like me when I was a kid, just enough with parents.
Okay. Yeah.
She was born there, so
okay.
Just like the basic Korean of
Okay.
I'm hungry, I'm tired, things like this.
Yeah.
But enough, yes, fluent enough.
Okay. She was quite good. Now she seems strong, and she keeps the presence of the mom alive. I felt the mom's presence throughout the movie. In fact, I was like, did I see the mom? I kept wondering, did I see the mom's face? I kept wondering, and I kept going back through the movie, trying to see the mom's face. Did I see her face?
Did you see her?
I can't remember.
I don't it's interesting that you bring this up. I think you're the first person.
Yeah.
She's there so briefly.
Okay.
When Sonny is on his bed, looking at an old photo where
a photo.
She has the baby on their back.
Yeah.
And what do you call them? One of those things. There's the baby's on the back.
Sure.
Yeah. And then she's just there briefly as a photo, black and white.
It's just a photo.
It's just very quick. It's very quick, and I don't think anyone has mentioned them seeing the mother because it's such a quick scene. Yeah. Or for now, I like the idea of how you're mentioning it, where maybe you didn't even see it.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of through Hannah's presence, maybe that you have an image of what she could be.
Because, okay, right, I do know I saw the picture, but I was like, did I see more than that? Did I see a movie?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Did I create that in my mind,
Yeah.
So I kept going back and like, did I see more than that? So that's amazing. That's amazing that you're telling me that now. So,
Yeah, but saying the daughter character was the hardest casting in my mind, just because we knew we had to cast local and that there would be parental supervision because of she's a minor.
Yeah.
And Korean child actor in Vancouver.
Oh, is there
I was just where will you find that?
Yeah. Oh, right.
Where will you find it?
Right.
And I knew that I would probably be casting a non-actor.
Yeah.
Which is what Sane was, is she's never acted in her entire life. And the funny story about that is her dad, TK, had submitted for the role of Sonny. And
no kidding.
Yeah, again, he's also a non-actor.
Oh, okay.
And because they don't have headshots or, any of the professional actor photos, he sent a family photo. And by that time when he sent it in, we had already cast Jaehyun for the role. And
there's no way you could replace him. So
that's right. And I was it was during the time when I was looking through 20 different girls that was applying for the role of Hannah, and I was like, oh, like no one really felt right. I often follow my instincts with like casting, look for essence in somebody, but no one felt right. But then I saw her in that family photo, and then so we sent it back. Oh, sorry, like he's already cast, but is your daughter interested in auditioning?
Right.
And she was, and again, they don't know how to do. We sent them a scene. Oh, could you put this on tape and send it back to us? And they didn't because they didn't really know how to do a self-tape audition. So then they just sent back a taekwondo video. Saying doing taekwondo.
That's awesome.
And then I loved it. Just something that she carried, like even through just that video, something in her eyes. I find, I think the audience is able to project a lot, onto her. She's kind of like a blank canvas. I find sometimes,
right?
Just very exudes some sort of energy that she's being thoughtful when maybe she might be thinking of, oh, what am I going to have for dinner later?
That's probably the taekwondo right there. That energy right there, because she's intense.
Yes. So I met up with her and we just talked.
Yeah.
We just talked about what her life is like, what she enjoys, what she likes to eat, just easy questions. And after talking, I was just like, would you want to do this role? Like, have you ever thought about being an actor? And she was really just, she's like, she embodies the soul of like, I don't know, like a 20-year-old in like a 8-year-old's body.
Yeah.
So she was very mature for her age. Really kind and generous. She was the best.
So you recently had your premiere in Korea at the Jeonju Film Festival. How did that go?
Incredible. I think the scariest audience for me is the Korean audience.
Okay.
And it's very much so because I want to be accepted,
Well, they're experts. The Korean audience is experts. I mean, they watch TV. I mean, the TV here is public, and it's incredible, right? And we watch that we pay to watch their free TV.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
On Netflix and on Disney Plus. We pay for that stuff that they watch for free.
Yes. It's Korean dramas, like they're world renowned for a reason. I think they're experts at pulling at the heartstrings even, and making just like the most like normal circumstances really just interesting and dramatic. They're really good at making drama. And Koreans are huge cinephiles. We see more and more like Hollywood films even, they want to world premiere their films in Seoul now because they know that the Korean market still goes to watch the movies.
They do. They read books. You go to the bookstore.
Oh yeah.
Been to the bookstore?
Yeah.
The Kyobo.
Yeah, the Kyobo Mungo. Yeah.
Oh, they have the free library down by the river. But there's a free library. You just go and borrow a book and read it. Bring it back. I don't know if people. I guess everyone trusts everybody. You can leave your computer here. Right?
Yeah. Korea's so safe. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I never have to like ask someone, hey, could you like please like look at my computer while I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
No, so you just leave it and then they'll be there. Did you hear this just really quickly? Like a convenience store was like left open overnight for like 8 hours apparently.
What?
And like the security camera was going on and like this guy was like waiting at the counter for like an employee to come and so he could pay. But then no one came for like 5 minutes. So he just went around and scanned and like paid and left the money. But it's just like goes to show,
items and pay
like left the money on the goes to show like how
That's
just
so creative.
safe Korea is. But
yeah.
What are we talking about? Jeonju, I guess. Jeonju International Film Festival. They're also famous for having crazy cinephiles, So it was like kind of like this like roller coaster of like, oh, that's amazing that we can go to Jeonju for a Korean premiere, and then the slow realization of like, oh, the audience is going to be so tough because leading up to it, everyone kept like kind of like poking me of like, Jerome, like be ready for the Q&A because they're gonna like tear you apart.
They're gonna reference every film in the last 30 years. And you're gonna have to know a little bit about that.
That's right. And we had 3 screenings. Every one of them sold out. Jeonju was incredible, just because it was a reunion with my actors. Jaehyun, who had yet to see the movie.
Yeah.
Danu had come to Vancouver to watch it at the world premiere. Sane, of course, was there. But then Jaehyun had still not watched the film. So then it was his first time watching. We had a really wonderful premiere, packed houses every screening. And the reception was so beautiful. Just all my fears just went out the window, just because the Korean audience was able to resonate with the film far more than I had ever imagined. So it was a really meaningful time and memory for me that I don't think I'll ever forget. Yeah.
Do you have more film festivals coming up?
Yeah, so we are just about to have our Italian premiere at the Giffoni Film Festival, which is the largest youth festival in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm actually headed out this weekend.
Oh, this weekend?
Yeah.
Busy.
I'll be heading to Napoli. And,
very nice.
It'll be lovely to attend and be a part of that. Yeah.
Are you gonna make money off this film, do you think?
I have no idea, actually.
Yeah?
Like, see, we have our sales agent, and we actually just got off the call with him yesterday.
Yeah.
And then we were discussing how difficult it is for dramas to sell right now.
Wow.
Like, ever since COVID, maybe, like, no one wants to watch,
Well, it's not too violent or anything. You probably eventually will see it on an airplane or something.
Yeah, I hope so. But then I think, when there's like, if you're thinking dramas, when everyone's thinking, oh, but there's like con titles and there's Berlinale and Venice, like, you want to watch the films, they want to watch the films that get into those festivals.
Yeah.
And everything that's kind of like in the middle, it seems, it gets lost at times, but you hear it everywhere. Like, my agents will tell me that it's like all about genre film right now.
Yeah.
People don't want to watch heavy films at the moment. And that's not to say like Mongrels is. I mean, there are heavy moments for sure, but I think there's some levity in it as well. But I think there's just a little bit of hesitancy for people to go watch that film about just a drama.
Going back. No, I won't go into Tokyo Lovers. I'm not gonna do that to you.
I love Tokyo.
Yeah. I need to end this, and I want to end this with the 10 questions that Summer insists that I end with.
Okay.
10 questions. Number 1, favorite color?
Blue.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Jajangmyeon or bibimbap?
Oh, jajangmyeon.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
No. It's Star Trek or Star Wars. Star Wars. I'm kind of
Neither.
Well, neither.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
Oh, okay. There you go. I didn't think about that one. Audiobook or podcast?
Podcast.
Streaming or theater?
Theater.
Yeah. Subway or car?
Car.
Superpower?
Transportation.
You mean like flying or something? Or
no, it's just like you like blink and then you could transportation.
There you go. Okay.
Like you don't want to take a flight like 10 hours.
Right. Mom or dad?
Oh, mom. I love mom.
Sure.
Sorry, dad. I love dad too, but mom gets a little bit more love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 things to bring in a go bag.
In a go bag?
Yeah.
Oh, an extra eco bag.
Oh.
An extra eco bag. A portable battery charger.
Wow.
And a pen.
Did you say depends?
Pen.
Oh, a pen.
Pen. A pen.
Not depends. A pen. Jerome, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Oh, thanks so much, Larry.
Best of luck and blessings on your movie, Mongrels. This is, I watched it about 3 times. I was just like,
thank you,
mesmerized, and
Thank
I
you.
had to see if I could figure out more and more, like squeeze more meaning and definition out of the movie. Get all I can, because I was like, this is a rare opportunity. I'm going to ask the director everything I can. I watched it 3 times.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Excuse me. had a lot to discuss. And so hopefully we can keep in touch and let me know how everything goes in the future.
Sounds great.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Pop the yolk and spread the love. Yolk is